All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to what is game number one of our following series now. We got a new best of three coming at you. We got Elements Pro Gaming going up against Cyber Anji here in this best of three matchup. So looking forward to this one. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami once again, tuning into the Star Ladder I-League Star Series Invitational number 2. And this is the European qualifiers, of course. So seeing which of these teams will advance on here in the qualifiers. Well, we got a similar start once again. We got the Monkey King into the Treant Protector. So Treant's getting some love today so far.
Yeah, and as you said, it was, wait, was it 0-2 or was it 2-0?
It was 2-0.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, it's still not the initial impression that I had of the hero going into competitive. Like I said, I was imagining it to be more guys-oriented, but yeah, Living Armor is just too good of a spell. And the hero needs levels for living armor to gain efficacy, so you can't just sit around all day trying to punch people. You got to go find experience doing pulls, making sure that you're getting jungle experience and finding it elsewhere. So yeah, as you said, pretty typical from what we saw in game 1 or
game 1 and 2 of the first series.
Yeah. Game 1 and 2 of the first series. Yeah, although Ember Spirit was a hero that was not present in any of those series, and looks like Elements Pro Gaming are going to mix it up a little bit with that pickup.
That they are. They're changing things up right here as far as that Ember Spirit pick. But the OD response pretty quickly from Cyber Anji, so that's going to be their choice. Now the bands to follow coming out here. So again, Elements Pro Gaming, they've been around for a while now. They actually competed in the recent Kiev qualifiers, had the chance to actually cast them quite a bit, and I almost say this, it's kind of maybe bad saying, but surprisingly did good. They frankly wasn't expecting much out of them, but they actually did all right there in the qualifiers. Didn't make it on, of course, by any means, but overall looked decent. This is gonna be the first time since then I see them, so we'll see how they do here. But on the other side, I believe this is a newly formed team, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was created basically last month. This new roster was formed here, so. Don't really know too much about them. They've had a couple of very minor results so far, including second place in what was a Moscow Cup here recently, a qualifier where they lost to Empire in the end, it looks like. But so a team definitely with potential and obviously some names on their side that I know people recognize.
The most notable of which being Hvost. It was this is effectively like his return to competitive. The main thing is that he's kind of been taking a backseat to competitive gaming, and so the main thing about this squad is that it is sponsored by an actual legitimate football, European football, American soccer club. And so yeah, it's like a Russian football club that has a lot of money, and so more and more of these established brands in traditional sports have been poking their head at esports, and I think this is probably one of the first major debuts of one from Russia. I guess China has always kind of had a soft spot for blending esports and other corporations. Like, I'm pretty sure LGD is actually a food company or something like that, and other established brands, I know for League of Legends, Samsung is really big for Korea and things like that. And so yeah, more and more traditional organizations have been taking a shine to esports, and as far as I know, this is the first main one in Dota from Russia. But yeah, Hvost is going to be the one leading the charge as this organization moves forward.
And, it's good to see for the players. Hopefully, I'm sure they are getting, plenty out of it for themselves. And the more that get involved, the more money that happens. And obviously, that's going to usually be a win-win for everyone. So definitely, it's good to see an organization like this getting involved in this. Again, with just being formed last month, this has to be one of their bigger opportunities now to start making a name for themselves with this new roster. Like I said, going up against a solid team in EPG. So really could see this one going either way. And excited to be casting it. But we're going to see a Darkseer yet again. This time in the hands of EPG, game number 1. So this clearly has proven to be a hero that's still relevant, at least in the CIS European region, I guess.
Yeah, except this time it was picked second phase, which is a little bit more reasonable. In the previous series, we saw it picked both times in the first phase, which I did find a little bit surprising. But yeah, the hero, like I said, in the previous series, very stable. It just kind of depends on the player skill on how much you can really exploit the hero and take advantage of the fact that, yes, he has been nerfed several times, but that's because the hero is very, very good.
Warlock response here from Cyberanzi. So they got their solid support option with that chaotic offering. Again, in the previous series, we happen to see a pretty good one at that. Played by Seneko there, actually. So looking forward to seeing how this one does. What position does Havost play? Actually, what is he?
In Na'Vi, he was like there used to be like some position shuffles, but Havost was pretty much consistently on the one position the entire time.
Okay, yeah.
And then after his stint on Na'Vi, I think he spent some time on Empire, I want to say. Yeah, so after Na'Vi, he was on Empire for a little bit. And then he was on Fantastic Five. And then apparently he had a short stint on Team Spirit as well. But that was just like 3 months or so. But yeah, he has pretty much consistently been a one-position player throughout his entire competitive run.
We have a Lich. That is not a hero I would have expected to see.
That is a good point, actually. Not only is it a hero that you don't often see, but it's a hero that you will only frequently see whenever you're like, oh man, Ice Armor is going to be so good this game. And I don't really see anything that makes Ice Armor be that great this game, because OD is pure damage, Warlock is magic damage, and sure, it may be okay against Monkey King, but like his Wukong command statues do not care about being slowed or anything like that. It'll do a little bit less damage because of Ice Armor, but yeah, that's a hero you never see like at all.
Yeah, he got some buffs in this recent patch. I was just making sure of that, and that's right. His sacrifice cooldown got reduced at levels 2, 3, and 4. His chain frost slow was actually reduced as well, but the slow itself
it was like rescaled.
The duration was reduced, but the slow itself was increased. So the ultimate, that is.
Which works in his favor, because the main problem about Chain Frost is that the projectile is super slow. And so you toss it out, and like by the time it even connects on the first target, the enemy team is already split a little bit. But then if you do manage to get a Chain Frost, the slow was just not really large enough to keep heroes stuck in that like perimeter of bouncing. Like unlike Paralyzing Cask, which will stun enemies could very easily break apart from a Chain Frost because the slow just was not enough. And so I have not actually seen it. I like Lich. I like playing him a lot because very rarely do pub players expect max Ice Armor. And so teams will like dive on, especially in like this current patch, like people love playing all these right-click carries and right-click offlaners and stuff like that, and they will get very, very surprised by max Ice Armor. I don't know what this Lich will go for. Against an Axe, it's kind of tricky because you want the magic damage of the Frost Blast, but at the same time, like Ice Armor is such a good spell against pushing and just like overall sustain. So yeah, I'm curious to see how competitive Lich is handled in 7.05.
Yeah, just as curious here. So that's going to be fun to see. Now, that with the living armor, they're going to have a lot of buffs for teammates in terms of making them very difficult to kill. So perhaps that's the synergy of the idea there. But now Gyrocopter, the final pick on the side of Cyberanzi. So
yeah, that's a Havost signature.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, he's a big Gyrocopter fan. But it's also a good pick specifically in this matchup. Rocket Barrage will obviously be another source to ignore all of the Ice Armor damage. I mean, all of the Ice Armor mitigation, because it's all magic damage on Rocket Barrage, and then Call Down as well. And Flak Cannon, like if your primary target has the Ice Armor, then yes, you will be slowed. But if secondary targets of the Flak Cannon hits have Ice Armor, Gyrocopter won't be slowed, so it's a bit of a way to play around that as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to question. You know, what kind of response we're going to see as a result of that Lich coming out, especially. And it sounds like you're pretty comfortable with the Gyrocopter pick, actually, overall. The ban on Anti-Mage happening there, by the way. I wonder, is that
another? These last three, like you look at Havost Liquipedia, it's Lifestealer, Anti-Mage, and Gyrocopter as his 3 signature heroes. And that's definitely my memory of him whenever he was on Na'Vi as well. And Gyrocopter was one of my favorite heroes to see him on because, unsurprisingly, it is the most aggressive of the 3 if played in that style. And Havost's original claim to fame was he was by far one of the most, like he was the poster boy of CIS carries, and that he would just like throw all caution to the wind. And if he sees even the slightest possibility for a kill, he will go for it. But now, possibly in his age, maybe has tempered a little bit, but After the first series that we casted today, I think the region, the region as a whole is just too inclined to that style of aggressive Dota.
This is going to be a very tanky team, man, on the side of
Yeah,
EPG. They can throw a
it
Sven
definitely
final
is.
pick with this Warcry that he brings on top of that. Wow.
I feel like they just in their mind they're like, dude, what if we ran like a super tanky armor strat? Because like again, like I look at Anji's team and like it's not a very physical
10
damage heavy
seconds
comp.
remaining.
Axe is pure damage, and like I said earlier, OD is a lot of magic and
5
pure
seconds
damage. Warlock
remaining.
is a lot of magic and well, actually mostly magic, but whatever fatal bonds will reflect will also be the same type of damage that was going on. It's really just mitigation for the Monkey King and Gyrocopter moving into the late game.
Yeah, no, it really is something because again, if we saw like a TA on the other side, or just even like a lifestealer, that big physical threat, then maybe this would make a lot more logical sense. But it just doesn't seem like all these armor buffs. I mean, Sven's one thing goes back to the Lich again with that idea that that's why you pick up the hero. Feels like if anything is for the ice armor, but that's not even necessarily going to be very helpful. Feels like overall. No, Sven on top of that. Sven himself is also just really curious. Talking about that for a second. Again, the Warcry sure is going to be a nice another buff for the team, but is this the best option here? He's one that gets kited very easily, or potentially could, and this seems like it's going to be a tough team to kind of run down.
Yeah, I
Prepare
basically
for battle.
once Monkey King completes a basher, life instantly like the team fights become impossible for Sven to deal with, and yeah, I mean almost certainly he will be building a Mask of Madness this game because you don't really go this heavy on armor unless you're like, okay, well, our carry doesn't mind losing 5 armor whenever he wants to go deal damage, and so yeah, I am not a fan of the item on Sven personally. I think Echo Saber is still the superior pickup, but nearly every single time, like China has been picking up some Sven, and they always run Mask of Madness, and it doesn't really do well. But maybe that's because Sven doesn't have enough armor to back him up, and so every time he joins into the fight, then he just like I don't know, he dies and is getting kited. But getting kited is going to be a problem regardless. Mask of Madness sure it gives you some move speed, but like you
30
have to deal with
seconds to
Astral,
battle.
you have to deal with Berserker's Call. If you don't have a BKB, you're gonna have to deal with Upheaval, and of course, like I said earlier, once Monkey King gets a Basher, then you're gonna have to deal with that as well.
By the way, Havos playing the Axe here.
Oh, what?
Yeah, for Cyberonzi, I just picked up on that.
The hell?
Noticed Yoki was on that gyrocopter. And
Yoku, actually.
Yoku?
Yeah.
Why is it a Y then? Dang
I
it!
don't know.
All these other languages. Yoku.
Yeah.
The battle begins.
Huh, that's a damn shame. But, maybe. Well, I mean, Havos wasn't captaining either. I think the crown was. Oh wow, I can't believe Monkey King actually got that rune. But yeah, the crown I believe was on. I actually don't remember who it was on. Oh wait, it was on No Fear. Yeah, so No Fear is the one drafting slash captaining, but I don't know. I mean, Shot Caller, I don't know. I think Havos did used to maybe dabble in offlane, but it's definitely not his original role. And Yoku, yeah, he's a carry player, but yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, it's being brought up in chat even that I guess the idea that he has been playing more offlane for them since this team has kind of been created. Again, Liquipedia even suggests that he's in one position, but I guess in the matches themselves, this is what they've been running, so maybe not as surprising from that perspective, but here we go. It's going to be the Axe in the long lane, again, being played by Havos there, and he will have Warlock joining him in the hands of No Fear, so going to be a very aggressive dual lane coming out, going to take advantage of Sven early on especially.
Yeah, and taking advantage of Treant as well. Treant does not offer anything in this matchup whatsoever. In fact, if I were Treant, I would just go straight into the jungle. Unfortunately, he's not really equipped for the jungle. He's got an Orb of Venom, 2 Clarities. He's equipped to stay in the lane, but this is not a lane that either of these heroes can stay in because, I mean, an Axe by himself against 2 melee heroes is already intimidating, but you put the heal of a Warlock behind him, it's even more difficult to deal with.
Bottom lane, you got Monkey King zoning out Mitch here on the Darkseer, of course. Darkseer to get that Iron Shell.
See the advantage of Jingu at 1 against melee offlaners right there.
Yeah, he went that first, exactly. And he has not gotten any experience yet. Literally no experience for Darkseer.
And already burns his shrine. And again, this is another hero that would be able to transition into the jungle, but he's not really equipped for the jungle. You don't buy Fairy Fire if you're going into the jungle. So already the lanes are looking very good for Cyber Anji.
Yeah. After a great start. Everything but the middle lane again. OD, he's having trouble, but understandably.
Yeah, but you put a Lich in any lane, that lane is already going to have a big hamper on it. And, I mean, the idea is that Ping Vinchek will be able to get a really snowbally start, but your other lanes are suffering heavily.
Lich coming back in, but just again, the harassment continues from OD. Top lane up here, Battle Hunger on LeBron Dota. Playing the tree and Protector, and a voice will instead just farm up the jungle using that pull that Train made happen. So, being a nuisance right here. Good job of doing so. Darkseer is going to go to the jungle as mentioned, so he's been able to at least get level 2.
And LeBron Dota needs to be careful. There. He may be dead, actually.
A spin. Spin would kill him. Yep.
Oh. Wow.
I guess he might not even need it. You're right. The Battle Hunger running him down, but just in case. Throw out that spin proc there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm beginning to question if it's this worth putting such a heavy emphasis on mid. I mean, NT is getting pretty low.
Taking a kill is definitely worth it.
Yeah, they might. Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, that career's fine. Yeah, that was extremely close, but guess what? NT has his shrine, and so all of those resources spent and not really much to gain from it. And yet again, I mean, Sven is last hitting fairly well, actually, surprisingly, but the more points that Axe gets into the counter helix, once he gets a point in Berserker's Call, it becomes a little bit more nerve-wracking for Sven to farm.
Drain Protector scouting out the Warlock off to the side. But Sven is just worried about getting last hits here. He's sitting on that point. You know, it's always curious too whenever we have see a Sven, especially in this one position, what kind of build he goes for. And you know, that leveling up that greater cleave is obviously going to be great for that farming potential, but the more you do that, the less useful you'll be in earlier interactions, of course.
Yeah, given how Ember Spirit is getting this much of a focus as Monkey King, he has a little bit of time left on his Jingu, but he does not have Boundless Strike, so he's just going to lifesteal off his pull. Yeah, given the team that EPG have gone for, I think he's probably just going to keep 1 point in Stormhammer and then just alternate points between the Cleave and the Armor, and then just, he's going to be kind of banking on late game and let Ember Spirit create all the space in the mid game and early game.
Oh, they're diving big time. Lane. Yeah, OD. They want this kill. Flame Guard's up, trying to take him down, but now actually, that's going to be a turn kill. Ember Spirit, he ended up committing way too much there in the end, so at least he gets the kill first, but fall shortly after.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Monkey King didn't come in range for experience in time, otherwise that would have been a massive boost from Monkey King. He's only level 2, and if he was able to participate in basically solo experience on a level 4 Ember Spirit, that would have been great. So could have been worse for EPG as they kind of exchanged, but since OD didn't get any experience, and man, he keeps using Astral aggressively. He got really lucky with the RNG not getting chained up there, but yeah, if I was the OD at this point, like, you keep Astral to keep yourself alive. You can't really use it to farm.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do right there, but he needs to be careful about that. It is up again. We'll see. Kind of play makes it that he actually even has the infused raindrop queued up in the stash. Want to try to get that to help himself. Monkey King is here, so if they do once again look to dive, then he'd be here to respond and maybe set up that turn kill. So they got to be careful about that here on the Dire side. Bottom lane, meanwhile, Gyrocopter, he's having free farm. He's got the phase boots. He's level 5, almost level 6. He is not going to be going the early Ags, at least just yet.
Thank God. Well, actually, no. Aquila is not enough for me to to rule it out. Unless if he builds, like... I still think that Maelstrom is the #1 choice, and especially this game, against the crazy amounts of physical damage mitigation that EPG have, I would be baffled if he doesn't go for a Maelstrom, because there's really no excuse, in my opinion.
Primal Spring middle lane. They're trying to catch this Lich, but he's going to be fine. He's doing a good job of counter-warding right there. Try to capitalize. Surge onto the Ember Spirit. They're going pretty deep onto the OD here. The initial Searing Chain's locking him down. Monkey King throws out a Boundless Strike. TP in from the Gyrocopter, and here comes the Rocket Barrage. The caught on top. He's going to get one turn kill at least. Well played by Yoku. Porting in and supporting his teammate, and he gets a turn kill out of it.
Yeah, and even though it's a support kill, you have to keep in mind that Lich is a very, very experienced support. He's been sacrificing constantly. He's the same level as his mid. Well, he was the same level as his mid. Ember Spirit has now hit level 5, but that's like a really valuable kill. So even though it is a support rotation, Yoku definitely gets what he came for. It would have been nice to get multi-kills, as now on the top lane, Host is going crazy aggressive, but he has nothing to be concerned about.
He has a Vanguard. He has Vanguard with that poor man shield.
Holy
so.
crap, he has a Vanguard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's like, that
A 6.5 minute Vanguard. My god. That's ridiculous.
No.
3,500 net worth. Yeah, no,
Well.
he's like been last inning like a boss up here. Taking advantage of his one position skills from history.
Clearly.
And yeah, that's a very early Vanguard, as you mentioned. So you like that decision going over the blink ASAP?
Someone needs to tank up on the side of Cyber Anji, and if he does go for the blink, like EPG have pretty good mitigation for blink initiation. Not right now, because if he did get the blink, it would have been like a 6-minute blink. But what are you really going to do with a 6-minute blink as a axe? You can only really expect yourself to jump in. Your team can't really follow up. Possibly Yoku could follow up, but like the target that you'd want to go after most is the Ember Spirit, and Ember Spirit will be able to survive. Oh my god, he calls the courier.
Oh, Moist. He's having some fun up here.
Yeah, he is. This is
running.
some magic damage, though, so not as favorable, but Warlock comes in with the heal. Fatal Bonds is up.
And now he wants to turn this, actually. He's like, all right, come at me. For some spin procs. Not going to really get them, but I mean, just look at his life. He didn't even drop to half life right there. Those 3 heroes coming together trying to make a play on him, so. I guess the heal also assisting with that. But the more distraction he plays, the more farm Yoku's going to have here at the bottom lane and just free farm, essentially. All right, we're going to Makila finished. And some pressure on the tower now coming out. Darkseer does manage to hit level 5. He has a soul ring, so he's doing all right there. Middle lane again. They're applying pressure to OD. Does he have remnants up? He does. He's going to die for it. He is! Is it going to be the kill? Knows the answer. However, oh yes, it will be a kill, actually. Gogi gets the kill in the end. He will go down, but he got a double kill first as he takes out Monkey King. So I guess worth it there.
Yeah, definitely worth it, and no one gets the experience from Lich dying. That's really the name of the game in a dual mid arrangement like this. You need to make sure that your exchanges come before you die. Even if you do die with a dive, it's okay, because a lot of the times the enemy mid is already so far behind that any one kill would give them a ton of experience, but if they die first, then they don't get to participate in any of it.
Gyrocopter does have the Yasha queued up into the Manta style, so.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm okay with this. Full Manta style is a bit surprising on a Gyrocopter. There's not really anything, I guess Overgrowth may be enough of a concern for Yoku. And I guess Searing Chains. Okay, so yeah, I can see why he would go for the Manta style first. Those 2 roots may prove to be a concern.
Meanwhile, Havost continues the pressure on Swift ending. And up here, Warlock, though, he's going to be caught off to the side, and that should be a free kill coming out. So they're like, yeah, you're not as tanky. Gladly take him out in response. So at least he gets something. Nice rotation from Ember Spirit.
And he can get away with these rotations because OD is so underfarmed in this mid lane. 5th lowest net worth right now, and it's not too surprising. He's died twice, and again, like, he's not getting any of the experience from these kills and assists that he does have. And now he needs to be careful. But Ping Vinchak only has 1 remnant. He's gonna get an Invis up top though.
Yeah, Lich is almost level 6. I think he might have been trying to even hit level 6 right there and then go for the Chain Frost. But got to be, I guess, a little careful with that too because of the imprisonment.
Right.
Can mitigate some of that damage and the bounces. So interesting to see how that works. But he does have Chain Frost now, and so the potential of that coming into play could be there. Bottom lane.
Ember. He's burning. Ion Shell plus the Flame Guard. Yoku's like, what the hell is going on?
Why am I
Where's all my
dying?
HP?
That was hilarious, actually. You could tell he just went full panic mode there all of a sudden. Like, what is going on even? And the Dire Courier dies, actually, too.
Oh, wow. Wait, no. That was earlier whenever Havost called it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Wow. Anyway,
yeah, it's a classic pub combination. You put Ion Shell on like a Riki, and you just make Riki hug the enemy whatever, and like it's not enough HP that you see like the big white chunk shrinking down. You're just like, why does it feel like there's like a big ass Heartstopper aura on me or something? And then you die.
Well, felt the burn there. So now he has Monkey King to assist, in case they want to try something like that again. But Ember Spirit, he's just gonna cut the creep wave. Yeah, I mean, how about this Ember Spirit? You mentioned that he can kind of do this, though. He's just basically been playing around the map. He's been to the top lane, been to the bottom lane. Lich just taken over as a mid-hero, essentially, at this point. Now,
they're going in.
They really are. Is this enough damage for the kill? Call down? Absolutely. A couple of call downs connected. That's a dead Ember Spirit. It's so much for that being effective.
Wait, he had 2 remnants. This remnant is about to... Like, what? This remnant on the bot lane, why would you not go to that?
Was he out of mana? No?
No, he has the mana. Like, you could, that's one of the advantages of Source 2, is, or whatever, Reborn. You can see the mana whenever they die. And so he had 157 mana, and did not remnant for some reason.
Alright.
Arcane power.
Yeah, that's a bit of a miscue there. Coming out from Ember Spirit, it feels like. Definitely had the opportunity from what we can tell. And Axo, this could be big. He's smoked up with this new toy here of the Blink Dagger. I don't know if it's been seen yet. I would assume not.
No, almost certainly not. And oh, there's a big rotation. This could be huge. They see the smoke. There's this Radiant Ward.
They're going in. They're going to run right into this Axe trap. Out comes the chaotic offering. Now Yoku is getting low right here. The Chain Frost bouncing around. Oh, that's a big one at that. Bounce between the Malphite's back in. And Axe is in trouble. He gets rooted up right there by the Overgrowth. And Axe may end up falling. He will. Wukong's command will be spawned, though. And at least takes out Darkseer. But now Warlock off to the side. Going to get caught by the Stormhammer a couple of auto attacks later. He may fall unless NT has something to say about it. Double kill for Warlock in the meanwhile with the Fatal Bonds doing work. Finally gets chased out by Swift Ending, but OD takes out the Treant in return. And we're not even done just yet. Primal Spring game, sweet animation, bro. But Sven, he's fine. Pops a level 4 Warcry. So that was a hell of a fight. But so it's right there. That Chain Frost did a lot of work.
Yeah, they were not expecting that. And unfortunately, like, they got the Chain Frost, and right now Lich was just like, oh, okay, we gotta kill this gyrocopter. So he puts out the Chain Frost, and then Axe immediately jumps in, and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't want to get bounced into this. But then Chaotic Offering is also used, so now there are 3 targets after the gyrocopter goes down between the Warlock, the Axe, and the Chaotic Offering Golem. And so yeah, that Chain Frost did a ton of work, that gank attempt, especially when combined with the slow of the Wall of Replica, which Mitch this game has taken it at an early level. Probably not 6, but he has still a very early level in the Wall of Replica, and you can see when combined with the Overgrowth, and combined with the Chain Frost, it's just so much damage potential.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about a big concern for Sven in this game is going to be the Kite factor, and you know what? Scene right there kind of reminds that, yeah, the Chain Frost buff on the slow and then the wall, as you mentioned, they do have a lot of ways to kind of keep them close here on the Radiant side, so at least in the last fight. I mean, also looking at the recap, the Chain Frost allowed Lich to do the most damage in the fight, too. Not surprising there. And overall, looking pretty good for them. In the big picture, perhaps, Sven, Mask of Madness, a Yasha picked up. He's going to be building the Sage next, so he will have a full-on SNY here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's one that I haven't seen before. Oh, top lane Yoku.
Not close enough.
Oh, yeah, man, that creep wave came just in time, so no Searing Chain possibility. And now they might turn it around. I don't know if they see... Oh yeah, he's dusted.
Yeah, that was Monkey King dusting him initially, now Treant's like, crap, I gotta run. No chance for him. See, they was not gonna save him there. Nice chase, and they may just transition him to a tier 2 tower push. Working through the jungle now.
Yeah, it's not really enough damage quite yet. Gyrocopter needs a little bit more farm. Only has that Yasha, still working on the mid style, but once he has that, then I imagine that the rest of Cyber Anji will be ready to push this 5 because Havost almost has his Blade Mail completed, just probably about like 3 more minutes, and then OD, despite his unfavorable start, is making his way towards a 4-step, so he'll probably also have that in around 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, not the best game for him. 4,500 net worth. You see him down there on the charts, but again, the 4-staff, that'll help the cause. Nice recovery tool for him. Lich, meanwhile, level 9, almost level 10, actually. What does his talent tree look like? I guess he can get some either health or move speed as it builds up, some cast range perhaps, and then there's the level 20 is the interesting one, either 120 gold per minute or 150 damage.
Yeah.
Lich. Probably the GPM, but hell.
Probably.
Core Lich, man.
It's been attempted, not in competitive games, and it has not worked in other types of games, but believe me, it has been attempted multiple times.
Oh yeah. Those talent trees can be tempting sometimes. Middle lane push, you see the Frost Armor's put up. Again, that with the Living Armor, it's going to be very difficult to siege towers here.
Yeah, the dream combination that many people have thought of is like, oh dude, yeah, an Ogre Magi, You get a Treant, you get a Lich, and you get an Arc Warden, and they can just never take your towers.
Yeah. Wait, what does Arc Warden do? Oh, his bubble?
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah, his
is under
bubble
attack.
provides 100% evasion and
Dire's
bonus
middle
attack
tower
speed.
is under attack.
Although, right now,
Radiant's
Treant might be in a
top
bubble
tower is
as
under
he gets
attack.
dusted.
Yeah, it's the second time they've just dusted in the area and they happen to see him, and he's
Oh
going to...
wow, he used Overgrowth.
Yeah, we saw that in the last series.
Yeah, we
Dire's middle
did.
tower is under attack.
I mean, believe me, I love panic ulting just as much as the next guy, but there's a time and a place, especially when you have a 100-second cooldown on that spell. And with Treant dead, with Lich having to leave, and Lich has only put 1 point in ice armor, this tower's going to go down very quickly. And I mean, normally you have a Treant on your team, you're like, oh, okay, well, all of our tier 1s are going to stay up forever, but yeah, right now EPGs just are not in a position to contest any of these. And right now, Ember's in vision of this Radiant ward, but yeah, Axe doesn't want to initiate. Has his blade mail completed though?
Middle lane, they're pinging him out.
Yeah, they want to.
Not gonna
He
stick
has a
around.
remnant back here though that he can go to. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get it anymore.
On the top
Dire's
lane,
middle
yeah,
tower
Monkey
is under
King, he's
attack.
sitting nearby. Trying to see if they're going to commit to any kind of tower push up here. The armor's only level 1 currently on Lich, so still
Oh,
providing
balance
plenty.
strike, cancel that TP.
Oh,
Boom.
jeez.
And meanwhile, mid lane, Havos gets a solo
Yeah.
kill on Ember Spirit. Wow.
I caught that at the last second as they slam dunking into his head right there. So I'm not. I mean, it just must have got the counter Helix procs necessary to do him in right there. I thought for sure they were falling back as a team, but not Havost.
Yeah, well, I see Ember Spirit's Flame Guard was also on cooldown, and that's a maxed out Flame Guard. That's a lot of damage going back into yourself, although it returns as magic damage, so a Flame Guard basically, like, kills itself against a Blade Mail, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he must have gotten some amazing spins. And wow, now he's thinking about Roche. I don't really think his team is strong enough to do this. This is a bit risky, in my opinion. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thinks better of it. Probably talking it over and decide it's not worth the risk right now, so we'll decide to fall back and continue farming objectives elsewhere. But this Ember Spirit, again, choosing to go those bots first. Now he's working into the Maelstrom right here, but that's still got a ways away. This Ember Spirit in general hasn't had the most successful game just yet. As we're going to have a pause here, a couple of DCs and reconnects. Sven leading the way, though, overall. Has the Sage and Yasha finish, the Mask of Madness, as we talked about. And now the BKB in the works, which definitely is a pretty necessary item to have here in general for Sven.
Yeah, at least they still have BKB piercing disables though, Chaotic Offering, and the Berserker's Call, and then of course I keep stressing it because it's very important. Monkey King is going to get a Basher eventually. He's going for a Midas first, so it kind of slows down the pace a little bit, but he will have it eventually. And then obviously Astral Imprisonment, you can just imprison whoever is being gone in on by your by the sun. And wow, this is actually an interesting build by the OD, not maxing out the Astral, instead opting to max out the Arcane Orb, possibly just because he wants to make this Sven very, very dumb. I mean, the Sun, like, he's a strength hero, has 1.3 int gain per level, so a Sanity's Eclipse will do a ton of damage, and it won't be able to take advantage of like a Mask of Madness because, yeah, Sven has the minus armor, but Sanity's Eclipse will be all magic damage. But still, if you burn off all of Sven's mana, then he is pretty useless, even though he will have some items to move him around.
Warlock reconnected right there, so should be resuming back in. Again, this game number 1 of this best of 3 now. Winner of this trying to move on to play, who do they play? Vegas Squadron in the next round right here, so it'll be a nice continuation of the brackets, but here we go with the resume. And Sven gonna take out that jungle camp right there. But yeah, again, the BKB in the works.
Very large. He's actually getting very close to his level 17 God Strength, which is an amazing pace for not having a Midas or any other real, like, pure farming item like Maelstrom or Battle Fury or things like that. They see Ember, but yeah, he bolts out.
Gets out before they can get the catch. Chaotic Offering is ready to go for Warlock. Obviously not really a big fight brewing necessarily. A lot of avoiding going on. Really had that one epic clash at the bottom lane, but other than that, it's really just been individual picks so far. Lich has his Urn as well as a Tranquil Boots pick up here. You also got Treant Protector Trying to build into a medallion of courage here. Amp his damage as well. The teammates and possibly defensive use, of course. Wait, what about Ember Spirit's choice to go those bots first? In hindsight, maybe it was that a poor choice? Perhaps over the Maelstrom first, or?
No, it's pretty style dependent. Sometimes you'll see BOTs first, sometimes you'll see Veil first, sometimes you will see the Maelstrom first. It really just depends on how the player prefers to play the hero. And BOTs first is a very like hit and run style. If you see an opportunity to join a fight, you will go for it. Whereas Veil is like, I will find the fight, I will create the fight. And Maelstrom is like, I don't want any fights, I just want to farm.
He's doing his best to fly around the map and, of course, farm in different places. So we've seen multiple times in this game here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Stick around the top lane a little bit. It's an OD up there, but doesn't really have the teammates doing by just yet, so can't necessarily make a play on him. Swift Ending is running on up over, but not going to get there in time again. He doesn't have that Blink Dagger himself, so when it comes to closing the gap, it's not as easy for him. But
yeah, I'll be surprised if he does end up going for it. Like, it's not a bad pickup by any means, but like with such an immense lead as Sven, you can often get away with just relying on your team. The problem is that he's so far ahead of his team. Like, this is such a top-heavy, like, both experience and net worth in the favor of just the Swift Ending Sven. So, like, it's kind of the issue that we saw in the previous series with Ark's Weaver. Even though you have an exceptional lead as the core, the rest of your team needs to back you up, and that's especially true for Sven. So, until he completes a BKB, EPG is definitely looking to avoid fights, and he will have the BKB completed now, so might go for a tier 1 defense here. We'll see.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger on Darkseer going to allow for a big vacuum wall combo, so yeah, they're starting to go on the tower now. It doesn't look like they're going to be responding, although they do fortify, so maybe they are here.
No, it's a free fortify, they don't care.
Okay, just delaying. Still going to sit back, but if they go for tier 2, that's a different story.
Oh yeah, that is a very different story. Part of the reason was that BKB is not yet fully delivered for Swift Ending. It's coming in on the courier now, and he does have the Blink Dagger queued up, so he's looking to get that initiation. But right now, the rest of EPG don't have the best positioning. They're getting in position now to defend this tier 2. This trio needs to be careful, as they will definitely expect him to be getting very close.
That living armor, keeping it alive. No, it's
no ice armor though.
Swift Ending is kind of charging
they
in.
spot out the Sven.
Yeah, doesn't have the blink though. He's going to be jumped first, so he gets taunted back in. No, he actually runs back in. Now missed the Berserker's call right there. And now the Storm on Axe, but the Blade Mail is out with the so he wants to reflect that damage. And comes the counter offering with the wall combo to top it all off though. In response, at Swift Ending, the cleave is real, doing plenty of damage with that God Strength up. And another Stormhammer to finish the job on a Gyrocopter. Triple kill for the Ember Spirit. A 4-for-0 in favor of their VPG.
Yeah, it's a triple kill for the Ember Sphere, but look at the damage and see where the lion's share of the damage lies on EPG. That's the dream initiation as a Sven. Beautiful vacuum into, and they didn't even need to use Chain Frost. It was just vacuum into Overgrowth wall, and then Stormhammer, God Strength cleave was all the damage in the world, and almost a full team wipe. Monkey King survives, but just barely.
Yeah, no Chain Frost needed means they'll have that if another fight breaks out right here. But not going to be looking like that's the case. Easy tier 1 tower kill. And now they're making their way to the bottom lane. We're looking to catch this OD down here. Perhaps he doesn't have imprisonment for a couple more seconds. He does have a Force Staff. Brontota looking for a chance to open on him. We'll get that auto attack. Out comes the stun. The follow-up damage enough, though. It looks like Mitch going to pull it back in. The Stormhammer connects. And down goes OD. Axe is going to stay.
Still have Chain Frost.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Yeah, trying to scare them off, but they weren't falling for it, so this should be a tier 2 tower as well. Yeah, with Chain Frost even still ready to go. And Overgrowth is up in 10 seconds.
God Strength is up. Vacuum Wall is going to be up. I don't think they'll go for a high ground push. It's very aggressive to do it in this situation. Although they may go for this tier 2 top defense as LeBron Dota ready to punch. Ready to Overgrowth.
They want this kill. They're going to catch him. The Stormhammer connects. And Monkey King absolutely will be destroyed. So, well played right there to catch him. They defend the tower on top of that. And again, let the living armor eventually do its thing.
Yeah, and now Swift Ending has more than enough gold for this blink, and if he had that blink in just now that gank attempt, then Gyrocopter would have been the targeted choice, as Gyro had to use the Manta to dispel off the overgrowth, but that just means that Swift Ending gets a free Storm Hammer on you.
The Sven build has definitely proven to work. 9 seconds now on that BKB, but still plenty. He has the blink queued up. He's going to go to the side shop right now, and he will pick it up. And still another 1,300 gold on top of that, but now he has that extra mobility, the way to be able to get in there. The scan's coming out. I don't know if it's spotted him or not, but he is going to fall back, feeling suspicious. And he has a TP in 20 seconds, so it'll be a little bit here, but...
Yeah, he's praying that Monkey King isn't hopping around, but he's going to be safe.
Yeah, so how much armor do they have when everything's out? The Warcry's 20. You got the Lich armor.
Let's count Lich armor at max, so let's say 9.
Yeah, when it's max. So 29 right there. Then you got the damage, instances from Treant Protector on top of that.
And then you got Greaves on the
Greaves, yeah.
Darkseer, so whenever it's Aura, it's got that bonus 2 armor. Oh, wait
for the boost.
Yeah, 15 whenever he casts it, yeah. He's very, very tanky, and Gyrocopter does not have any damage right now. Oh.
Yeah, so, I mean, it goes back again. This isn't like the most physical, threatening team necessarily, but still. Those attacks still add up, even though that's not the case. Still, the attacks from Gyrocopter, and even from the supports, and, Monkey King, of course. The fact that those are going to be doing very minimal damage is important in these fights, so.
Yeah, this Gyrocopter will be tickling Sven at best, and so great timing to go for this Roche. They have the medallion completed on the Treant Protector, and there's really nothing that Cyber Anji can do to contest this. And once they get that Aegis, I wouldn't be surprised if they take either the tier 2 top or tier 2 bot, and I mean tier 2 mid, and then proceed to go high ground, because I mean Swift Ending, this is like a massive power spike. No one is as large as him right now, and even the Ember Spirit has taken second net worth.
They're trying to find this Monkey King again. I believe they saw him up here initially, but in fact,
will he vacuum?
Yeah, he tried to guess. Unsuccessfully though, so Monkey King able to hop away for now. But you talked about Ember Spirit. He's second now in the net worth with that Soul Booster finish on Octarine Core, actually. Is just about finished on him, level 17 here. Be a nice follow-up for him. Axe continues to be the top farm on the other side. He ended up going to Crimson Guard. Something I was curious if he was actually going to get or not. It's, the idea that good for mitigating damage against the likes of a Sven especially.
Exactly. That's going to be the main problem, as we can see. So, I mean, it'll help, but you still have issues with initiation, because like Axe will Crimson Guard his team and then jump in and Blade Mail. But like honestly, Swift Ending does not care about the Blade Mail, because Blade Mail will be returning physical damage, and this dude has so much goddamn armor that the physical damage reflection, even though it's going to be massive, will still just not really be very relevant. This is one of the very few instances in which the Blade Mail change to reflect damage in the same type of damage instance received will actually work against the Axe.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Sven going in. Nope,
yeah,
he's going to actually blink away. Yeah, by himself, really. Again, the living are on him, but not worth sticking around. He has another 3,600 gold saved up, and hey, you want armor? He's going to even get more armor with an AC being built here. Obviously, we'll also amp his damage with the attack speed and the minus armor on the other side. A voiced. Oh, he's trying to find LeBron Dota here. Actually, I thought he did for a second. Now he's going to be searing chains, but
this is
have
difficult.
The damage.
Yeah, Ghost is not an easy target to kill. But with 3 heroes, it might be possible.
Yeah.
It's still going to be difficult, but it's still, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
God, that damage.
That's a bit overkill, but I guess overgrowth isn't entirely critical. As now, Swift Ending going in. He has BKB. He has Aegis.
Yeah.
He wants to save. Oh, what?
He doesn't really care too much about that call down. He's running around, and he is going to catch the Gyrocopter, though, and here we go with the follow-up. Master Imprisonment, the chaotic offering in defense, but Swift Ending, again, doesn't really give 2 shits. He has the BKB now up. The God Strength active. Yoku's like, please, somebody help me! Yeah, no one's going to be helping you, brother. He's in trouble. Stormhammer, nice disjoint right there with the Manta style, actually. So he helps himself in the end get away. Not so much for Warlock.
Nope. Although that's a pretty good engagement if you're Cyber Anji right now because the 10-second BKB spent. Like I said, this BKB is very critical for Sven this game because you are going to have to deal with OD eventually, and OD is, you know, it was a very smart investment by EPG to put such a strong emphasis on securing this mid lane. I thought that Sven would fall behind. I was almost certain that with the freaking 6.5-minute Vanguard that the Sven was just going to be nearly irrelevant, but Swift Ending has very, very quickly turned that perception around.
That he has, and now 18,000 plus net worth on him. The AC basically going to be finished right here. And again, still has an Aegis, so probably going to reset here, get the AC, and look to perhaps go high ground at that point, I would think, because, you know, what should they be scared of, really? Chaotic Offerings, in fact, even down for another minute and a half here.
Yeah, I mean, they should be scared of the Aegis timing out is their biggest concern. They've got a minute and a half left on it. AC is completed. The trade-off is that Sven does not have buyback, but you don't really need buyback at this stage. Like, you are, a worst-case scenario, the Lich and the Treant will be able to keep all your towers up for a very long time. Ember Spirit will be able to continuously push out the waves, and Ember Spirit is working on a Mjolnir right now, almost certainly going to just put the static shield onto the Sven, and then even if you do try to kill the Sven, you will take a ton of damage in return.
There's the AC actually finished. They're not necessarily all here as a team, though.
No, and I hope that Swift Ending doesn't go for this.
Oh, he's
Monkey
going
King
for it.
is like, oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. Almost gets it.
Even uses a minus of vacuum's going to miss right there. Well played by Chu, actually.
They're wasting time right now, which is working out. Now there are only 30 seconds left on this Aegis, and this is like a very valuable Aegis on this one. You don't need a below God strength if you're just sieging a tower, and then you can save it for your second life, but enough time has been bought, and for some reason EPG just refuses to 5-man.
Well, the armor being applied, but yeah, they're not going to be going in. The Aegis reclaim coming up here soon. Figure they played safe in the end, so the distraction kind of works out here. Chaotic Offering up in 10. Perhaps going to be another Roshan attempt before we have the game continuing on here, really. Instead, we're just going to continue to farm for the time being. And that means now BKB picked up an axe, actually, as well. He's almost level 18, so that threshold going to be that much better. But Sven, yeah, he's level 23, now level 20 point of 30 attack speed, but level 25, 65 added damage, just because he hits level 25.
Or a 5-second Stormhammer.
Yeah, there's that.
That's pretty interesting. I don't think he'll go for it, but it is interesting.
Support Sven, yo. That could be a thing. No, yeah, I don't think they're really concerned about that. More damage, the better. You can kind of one Stormhammer. How long? What, 2 seconds? Yeah, a couple of auto attacks for him, especially with no, he doesn't have an Echo Saber, I guess, but.
No, he doesn't. But I'm surprised that he is going for this heart, though. I would have thought that the game plan at this point is going for like a Daedalus or hell, even like a Bloodthorn. But yeah, he's going for heart, and like I don't think that him dying is a concern at all. And he's having slot issues at this point, so he's gonna have to drop one, most likely the Mask of Madness for the heart. But I mean, heart's a pretty good damage item because God's Strength does amp you up based off of your strength. Then the heart giving you just like an absurd amount of strength gets multiplied, and so it's not just a pure tank item for Sven, but I would have felt that a crit item may have been a little bit more valuable.
Yeah. Wants to bulk up here. He's going to continue to farm it away in the Radiant jungle. I mean, they're just really keeping them in their base. I mean, you look at the vision right now, control of the Dire side, and it is dominating as far as what they can see. Not so much for the Radiant. They really have this one very defensive ward just outside of their base, and that's basically it. So more and more resources just being taken away. Now the top 3 farmers all belong on the side of EPG, including that Darkseer, who steps up there at this time. So it looks like
the problem is that the supports on EPG are very poor. Like Lich doesn't like something like a Lotus Orb would be great this game, or a Glimmer Cape, something to help out the Sven, even a Force Staff as well. Because if Sven gets Berserker called and then dragged back, then it's very difficult for EPG to react. Because I mean, Treant, he doesn't have anything like a Blink Dagger. Lich, again, like we said, he doesn't have any positioning items or save items, and Darkseer may be able to jump in with like a Blink Shiva's Greaves or something like that, but you need to enable the Sven, and those items on Darkseer don't really enable the Sven unless if he gets like an amazing vacuum wall combo. So yeah, I think Sven should maybe stop vacuuming up all the farm, give a little bit of farm to his Treant and his Lich, because right now, like Swift Ending, Yeah, I mean, he can get the heart, but I don't really think he needs it.
Well, on the other side, again, they're just kind of get any kind of farm they can get at this point. Gyrocopter, only 1,700 gold saved up, still a long ways before the Eye of Scotty is going to be happening. As that was fun. Searing Chain's used onto Axe, getting him to use a Berserker's Call, kind of just poking in damage right here. But he'll eventually TP out. But yeah, this Gyrocopter really is just going to continue to not really be the biggest damage threat in this game. Now, Eye of Scotty next, like I said.
Yeah, but the more time you buy, like this is, I don't know what EPG are waiting for. They have a full Mjolnir now completed on the Ember Spirit. So are you really waiting for the full heart? It looks like it on EPG Swift Ending, and I mean, he has it now. If you don't go at this point, oh well, I guess you could wait for the next Roche, but it's the latest possible Roche spawn. I don't know. This seems risky. You're buying a lot of time for a Gyrocopter, which farms exceptionally well. Monkey King has completed his Basher because, I mean, he has this Midas. He loves all this bonus time. He doesn't care about the experience. He cares about getting more and more of that 220 gold. So I'm skeptical if this is going to work out in EPG's favor. They're still massively ahead. I mean, they have a 10,000 net worth advantage, but I don't know. They could be doing more damage to Cyber Anji right now.
They're playing much more of the safe game, though. And again, next Roshan definitely seems like that's what we're waiting for. Hell, level 25 Sven. Got something else at this point we're going to be hitting, too, before another fight breaks down. Again, more damage as a result. You have Searing Chains activated by Ember Spirit. He's going in, actually, with the Mjolnir, but Glimmer Cape from Warlock, and he'll walk away. Obviously, Ember Spirit didn't want to go too deep here. Realizing that he's pretty far out by himself, so not worth it. Said we'll fall back, so Sven
right,
just about to level 25.
Yeah, off this camp. So if there was ever a time to go, they're really gonna wait for this Roche, aren't they? Okay, fine, whatever. Suit yourself, EPG.
Oh my gosh, and he actually went the Stormhammer cooldown talent.
What?
Who cares about
Holy
damage
crap.
when you can get
Are you
more
kidding
crowd
me?
control?
Are you kidding me? Why would you wait this long? Ugh, I mean, I love it, but EPG are just they're baffling me at every turn.
Still,
5 second Stormhammer.
I mean,
he has mana issues though.
I guess if
So
he
let's see.
spams that kind of, yeah.
God Strength's 200. Warcry's 25, so that's not that much.
Get off, like, 3 or 4
Madness, you sold the
hammers.
Mask of Madness. Okay, yeah, but you'd probably get 3 or 4 hammers off even without the cooldown reduction.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's whenever, like a Sven, you feel like it's more about just that upfront, big burst with the one Stormhammer.
You want to get all the kills in the first Stormhammer. The other ones are recovery kills whenever like someone's running off. Oh, mid lane. I mean, Roche pit.
Roshan pit, yeah.
At least Lich will confirm.
Hey, he's up.
Oh wow. Look at that slow though.
Yeah, that slow is pretty strong and actually gets into about half life. Lich is dead though for 45
Oh,
seconds.
boy.
Also,
Swift
going
ending's
in
going
though. That Crimson card is up. He pops the God Strength. In comes the Vacuum Wall combo. Wukong's man from a distance. Though, Sven. He's still trying to take out Axe. He can't even do that actually. And now he has to start retreating. He's taking some bash procs right there. From the Monkey King, you now got the Kite from Gyrocopter. So that's what we're talking about. Well, he gets another Stormhammer off, so maybe that talent coming into play there. Not enough damage, though. Nice Glimmer Cape at the last second, keeping his teammate alive. However, OD will end up falling in the long run. He's dead for a minute. No buyback homing missile. Going to connect, but not a big deal. And now they're going to go into the Roshan pit to look to finish the job.
All right, well, could have gone a lot worse for EPG. They get away with, despite Sven not being able to kill any target. OD unfortunately went a little bit too deep. I don't know how the hell he ended up on the enemy side of the river, high ground, but he did, and he died.
And there's Roshan. And now Sven, 4,000 life on top of all that armor he has, and an Aegis just in case they happen to kill him. Yeah, there's no excuse not to be pushing in and trying to finish this game with your EPG. Come on now.
But the Moon Shard, though, Swift Ending gotta get this Moon Shard. Yeah, let's go eat it. Yeah. Okay, now there's no excuse.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That attack speed. That much stronger now. All right, well, again, we definitely saw that talent coming into play the last fight. Like I said, I know he didn't get the kill on it. Well, kinda. He didn't actually get the kill in the end, but...
Yeah, see, the problem was that Gyrocopter was BKB'd, and so Swift Ending would have loved to Stormhammer him to next Tuesday, but he couldn't because he was spell immune, and then I mean, with 65 extra damage, he would have almost certainly gotten that kill on Gyrocopter, but yeah, you know, can't look at it in a vacuum. Let's see if this next team fight, he's going to be hammering his ass off.
He's charging on in.
Ember Spirit's not here, and they're going through backdoor protection. After being so conservative, now they're like, yeah, screw it, whatever. I mean, it's just me, myself, and I against the entire enemy team.
Down, but that's not going to really do too much. Just tickles a little bit, I guess. God Strength is active, but again, they're kiting him pretty well, the upheaval. Nice slow, finally. He will run away. Realizing that they're not going to get a catch. Everyone is here. Let the homing missile do its thing, get some region up. And look to reset with the creep wave here. That heart kicks in. And there you go, back to full life. All right, round 2. Let's see how this works. Again, Sven. No blink in his backpack currently. Or it's in his stash more so, no blink in his inventory. That's what the H is, making room for that. He will go right for the tier 3 and he will drop it. Has God Strength back up. They're going to be happy with tier 3 though. They're going to go for the shrines now. And, oh, will they? Maybe not. Ember Spirit going top to push in the lane, but he's ready to join them with Remnant.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very casual push.
All the cooldowns are still available on both teams. It's just going to depend on the initiation.
Chaotic Offering ready to go, so obviously they're aware of that. Don't just want to dive into this. But again, Sven, I really feel like he could just pop Gostra and go right for the racks.
Right?
It's just like,
that's
what
what
can he
I'm
do?
saying. I mean, Havost is a bit of a concern because you Berserker's Call, then yes, technically you won't be able to, you know, exploit the full duration of God Strength, but like, it's going to be a problem all game long.
There's a pull in from Mitch with the vacuum, baiting out, gets some BKBs actually, so they'll be happy with that. No wall just yet. So good job by EPG, baiting out a couple of important tools. Now they're going back in. Crimson Guard, remember that works on buildings now too. So that is making it that much tougher, and that upheaval, man, slow span. But the Rax doesn't move, thankfully. And he'll just pound away. So here we go. God Strength is active. Going to be stunned here as much as possible. Still has the BKB, worst case. He's going to pop his Warcry here. Goes after a Vost. And the Chaotic Offering in the background. Only it's a couple of heroes, though. There's a Wukong's man put down. The wall comes out back here as well. Sven, he's chasing, though, in pursuit of, it looks like the Monkey King, but he's put under by the imprisonment. Finally, kills happening, though. Monkey King will go down. And Swift Ending, he's going pretty deep. Puts a stun on OD. But now turns his attention back to the range racks right here. It's going to kill off the
backdoor protection right now. Oh,
there
man.
It is, wow. Only
Let's
the one
back off.
kill. Oh, that's a nice two-man stun, though, and now the Cleave's doing the work. He's going all in. In comes the Astral Imprisonment again on himself. The Crimson Guard put back up, and they will keep him alive with Swift Ending. Made him falling here, but again, the NCA is going to take out Gyrocopter with him, though. In comes the Sanity's Eclipse. They lose Darkseer in the background. He's kind of already done his job, however. Ember Spirit, we want the Blade Mail up. He's going to take out the Axe. The Gem is down. Swift Ending back up with full life and full mana. There's a buyback from Axe, but the Gem will be picked up by Ember, and now they'll start running as OD force the staff backwards. So they got the melee racks, though. They could probably just full on retreat now.
I feel like EPG are making this way harder than it needs to be. Like, how much net worth are they up? They are up 20,000 net worth. It should not be this difficult for Sven to take a tier 3, especially because they killed Monkey King. The biggest concern is that if Sven gets chain bashed by the Wukong's command, then yeah, he's going to be paralyzed, and BKB is not going to do anything about that. Excellent. But like, they're getting kited around by this Axe constantly, and this OD is just able to constantly steal int. Despite losing the fight, OD still managed to steal 48 int through that entire engagement.
Jeez, yeah.
So, I mean, like, Gyrocopter is still a non-factor, great, but this is kind of what we saw in the previous series, where one core may be falling behind, but the other one will take the mantle instead. And, I mean, Gyrocopter will eventually find damage. I don't know how much. He's going for a butterfly next, and evasion may help a little bit, seeing as how EPG Swift Ending is like fully slotted out. He's not going to be going for a Bloodthorn or anything. Oh, top lane.
Trying to catch you on Ember Spirit. It would be a big kill, but the Remnant will be fine. In fact, now Sven, he's coming in. Stormhammer hit the creep in with his hoping to stun Axe. He's going in on him. Yeah, that seemed like a little odd. He could have blinked forward, I feel like. Unless it was on cooldown right there.
I mean, unless if Havost had Lincolns or something, which he does not.
Well, they don't get a turn kill as a result, but nobody dies, as big picture there. And so, yet again, another Roshan, though, could be of much interest. As Sven will now make his way to the top shrine right here.
Oh,
Let's take that
bot
out.
lane. Oh man, this Blade Mail Ember. NT takes a ton of damage. And he stays.
He's going to stick around.
Ember's 25.
Gets a blade mill coming back up again, and he gets out right as a Berserker's Call. Look at NT, though. Just about dead. Forced to use that BKB again. Barely lives right there. But how about this Ember Spear, by the way? Again, the late blade mail. Look at this also talent build. You know, ended up going 500 Flame Guard, but then the 20% cooldown reduction.
Oh my god. Blade Mail has a 10-second cooldown.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
So someone
going in now.
Here.
Glyph is down. God's Strength is up. BKB is up.
Hey, there
no
you go.
Aegis.
Yeah, this time it works.
Yeah.
Just
imagine
well.
that.
In the background, Blade Mail from Ember Spirit, kind of two different fights taken out, and the Chaotic Offering, the Shrine was popped as well. That could help the situation right here, but the cleave is real again from Sven, and they're melt like flies. In comes a Frost, Chain Frost that is, and GG well played will eventually be called. So EPG will take game number 1 here in this best of the 3 series. Rampage for Swift Ending to finish the job. Wouldn't have it any other way, so eventually he lives up to his farm there. He gets a Rampage out of it.
30,000 net worth advantage for EPG. I would hope he finally lives up to the farm. I mean, this is definitely a marked difference from the game that we saw, or from the series that we saw last time, whereas that one was kind of sloppy. This one was almost surgical to a fault. There was, like, no risks taken at any point by EPG, even though they had all the resources necessary. But, you know, it's, at the end of the day, more often than not, playing too aggressively will get you killed as opposed to playing too conservatively. Yeah. So they play it very, very close to the chest. Swift Ending ends the game with 0 deaths. So well played by Sven, definitely, and a very solid draft coming out from EPG. I was skeptical to see if such a sustained heavy draft would be feasible, but yeah, you make Sven a raid boss, then eventually he will finally take some structures.
And he did. Was impressive to watch. So well played by APG as a team. And now they're up 1-0. So again, a solid start for Team Anji, Cyber Anji even, but couldn't make it come through in the end. And we have to decide what to do here in game number 2 now. So ladies and gentlemen, sit tight. We got.
Unfortunately, I may have to leave you for game 2 if that's okay.
Gosh.
I know. Believe me, it hurts me inside, but it's extended a little bit later than I was expecting.
All right. Any shout outs?
Shout out to you, Breaky CPK.
Shout out to you.
It's always a pleasure. And if you have any more Starletter Europe qualifier, let me know.
Will do. All right, thanks for joining me, man.
Of course, thanks for having me.
As far as our coverage, guys, we will continue. So stay tuned. We got game number 2 going to be coming up here. EPG versus Cyber Anji. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
E-Gaming Bets.